Namaskar and welcome to the Vatika, the biophilic studio here at IIT Kharagpur Research Park. We are here today to start a very novel journey, a journey where we will try to discover our own selves, at least I will try to discover my own self through this journey. And I have with me here a very special person who will give me company in this journey, or maybe I will give her company in this journey. Namaskar to all of you.
Namaskar, I'm Reena Sarkar.
And Reena is not just Reena, she is my best half, and that's the way in which I generally introduce her to people. Generally the term used is better half when you are using the term to introduce who we in our common parlance call husband and wife. So the husband normally introduces the wife as one's better half, and
Definitely, I also believe and I know he's my better half because he really brings out the best in me and tries that I'm always getting better. So, there's a lot of better and best between us that we playfully as well as mean it. So, yeah.
but it's always not easy to play this game and this journey, and no matter when we say it's playful, it's not easy. We've been in this journey already for close to 31 years. I think 1994 is when we started the journey together. So 1994 and today it is 2025. So for more than 30 years now this journey has been going on. And
Yes, absolutely. The key word here, or the word that I take from this line is together. So together in sorrow and joy. It's a journey of 30 years till now, and it's a combination. Together we have gone through the good and the bad.
trials and tribulations is the more GRE type of terminology that is used. Sorrow and joy, of course, is all part of a different way of looking at it. But and this really showcases what all journeys like these are. Should it be called sorrow and joy, or should it be called trials and tribulations? Now, as we know that these can be overcome very easily, but when we are living this life together, it's not always easy. We claim that it's playful, we claim that we are together in sorrow and joy, but we all know that the relationship, especially the husband-wife relationship that we all live, all as in those who decide to live this, is really one of the most challenging relationships that we have to kind of live through together. And whether we can use this relationship as a journey of self-discovery, not just discovery, but self-improvement, self-development, evolution, growth, that is what is the crux of this show today. So I want to take a little bit of time to introduce this show to all of you. We have decided to call this show Couples for Couples. And when this will be in 3 different languages, because both of us can speak.
In two, I would give 8 out of 10, and in Bengali, it would be 5 out of 10.
Okay, so Reena speaks Bangla pretty well, and Hindi and English, and same thing with me. I can actually speak fluently in these 3 languages. So we intend to do this program every day, as in on every episode, in these 3 languages. Now, the format is going to be this. As you can see, it says 15 minutes. So our episode is going to be 15 minutes each episode, and I've already turned it around so that this can be the timekeeper for us. In 15 minutes in every episode, we will try and explore whatever comes up. Sometimes we will premeditate issues that we might want to discuss, and in sometimes we will not have premeditated discussions, but we will just spontaneously let whatever comes in, let that take center stage. So it's 15 minutes of us talking about something or the other, something that reflects the trials and tribulations, or the sorrows and joys, or just the playful banter that through which time goes on for not just us but every husband and wife. So Couples for Couples, the intention for this is to expose ourselves, our lives as a couple, as a husband and wife, to expose this to the world, to all of you, so that you have the courage to come here and take this seat with us and expose the trials and tribulations and the sorrows and joy, or the playful banter, or the misery, or the struggle, or the celebrations that you have gone through in your lives. And the intention or the objective of this is so that this sharing of our lives as couples, can actually serve as therapy for us as well as for all of you who have the privilege or the opportunity to listen to what emerges. So it's in a sense a kind of therapy, and the therapy is what we call this a couples for couples therapy. So it's the journey itself is like a mirror, it's like a lens. The lens or the mirror is that of a relationship between a couple, a husband and a wife typically. And through this relationship, the objective is that all couples will find a means, a therapeutic means of self-discovery. With having said that, I will now hand over the mic to my best half, Reena, to give her vision of this journey itself, or what we intend to do through this program.
So what we intend to do in this program is definitely to just be, in each of these episodes, we'll have a couple who's sharing their journey, and that bounty will help anyone should help anyone, because when you look at the other, you're going to learn, and that's all. If you listen with patience, if you listen with the intention of listening, I think each couple will learn. So that's what we want to do through this program. We want to share our experiences and learn from other experiences. And the second thing about the journey, it's 30 years that we have been together, and I think the most important in this journey is the commitment that you've given the commitment, you have given the promise, and you've given the promise that I'll be happy. The happiness is not going to come from outside, it's inside. So you have to discover how discover the happiness within, and ensure that you are committed to this relationship. It could be, this is marriage, the relationship could be just this plant. I have committed to the plant that I am going to nurture it. So the word commitment in this journey, I think, is topmost in my list of things that one relationship should have. And we don't have to know what it's something that you will learn from day one. I have committed, and I'm going to hold on to it. That is very important, because love is just an emotion. We say I'm in love. What is the meaning of love? Love is commitment. That's my take on this journey.
Mm-hmm.
Over to you.
So we have this over to you business, just to kind of help all of you understand things that we have to go through. So you would have noticed that just now, as the mic was being passed on, Reena mentioned over to you. Now, You might think that this over to you is something that is a formal kind of thing because we are on camera, we are, with mics and all that. But just to tell you that it has taken me at least, and to some extent I can say us, a lot of struggle and trials and tribulations and pains and sorrow and joy, a lot of these incidents to really come to a point where even in our daily life, we try to give ourselves this commitment of over to you. What does that mean? Very often it so happens that we are not very good listeners. And in fact, in our journey, it's Reena who's always, everyone thinks that she's really the better listener. I am the one who, like right now, even in this particular episode, you can see I'm the one who's speaking more. And she typically in our life is, everyone agrees that she's listens more and she's not the one who's as vociferous. I am kind of, everyone knows that, more talkative and all that. Now, however, in my own journey of journey as a communicator, what I realized is that we really, whether we are listening or not, is marked by the fact that whether we allow the other person to complete and then take our turn to speak. Now, this is very easy when we are in a formal meeting, but in daily life, when you are living your life as husband and wife, it's just everyday living. There we don't actually take turns. We very often cut each other out as we are speaking and interrupt the other person and start speaking. So for the last several months, probably years, I've been trying, but several months now, this practice, a daily practice, when we are talking to each other, we try to wait for my chance. And the same thing, we are trying to cultivate in ourselves to see whether, and just as an experiment, to see whether this makes our relationship very formal or allows it to remain informal. You want to be friends and friendly and playful and all that, and yet you want to have this balance where you are allowing the other person to complete his or her thought. And how do you indicate that? Generally, we in life, we are snatching the invisible mic from each other. Now, once again, this is something that we are trying and testing in our own lives, and I know that this is something that I've been kind of bringing into our relationship as a model to see whether it is. And I very often find that Reena is not very comfortable with this, and with this that now our conversations will be very formal. So how do you think this is playing out?
Yeah, it's actually I think it's a good thing that we have started this way of doing the conversation. It's helpful, but in this we have to, I think we have to be sensitive to the fact that the other person has been able to express everything. That is very important, because over to you is a good practice, but once you are used to the practice, there it ends. You've learnt it. It's not just saying over to you means I'm done with what I have said. That is what I think we have yet to learn. Our journey is not complete on that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So we are really talking about a very, very, I'm sure all of you who are listening to this will understand that a lot of the trials and tribulations and the problems that we face in our lives as we live our life as couples, moving from an I to a we. We were really contemplating at one point of time whether we will call this program, name it From I to We. So this journey from I to we is not an easy one. And in this particular practical thing, that whether we are interrupting the other person when the other person is speaking, have we allowed the other person to complete his or her thought? Have we allowed the other person to express everything that one wanted to? Is a very test of patience in most times, especially in trying times when we are indulging in a conversation which is not very easy, in a conversation where you're trying to manage some issue in which you are not already together on the same point. If you are trying to resolve a conflict here does not mean a very big conflict, it could be a small one. But you're trying to resolve something, resolve an issue. That is where the test comes in. So, and I must confess, we are trying. It's not easy. It's something that I have kind of brought up and trying to see whether it works it works always when we are doing a walkie-talkie, or you're, trying to do a conversation where it's not easy to understand whether the other person has completed or not. That's the standard protocol. But do you kind of fill up your married life, your beautiful friendly relationship, playful relationship with these kind of formal things? Well, that's the balance, and striking the right balance, and as to where we will use this technique, over to you technique, is something that we are trying to experiment. And we would love to know from the comments that we hear from all of you whether these kind of techniques that you all might have come through or might have created or come up in your own lives to really solve or sort out issues. Now, here is something that we were mentioning. How do we understand whether we have... Now, I noticed that we are running out of this 15 minutes, so we'll really try to make this interesting and see and go a little deeper and try and see specific occasions which Reena can think of where she's not liked this particular technique to be used when we are speaking.
Yeah, I think that one important thing in this journey for anything is, how do you resolve conflicts? So this way of I would like it to be just in the ambit of conflict resolution. When we disagree, or we want to agree on something and come to a point, that time following this practice, okay, over to you, helps. I even keep a diary on my table, because when he's talking, I write down, because I'm not going to interrupt when he's talking, but I have to talk about this point. So I even use a pen and diary and put it down, So I like it when it is there for conflict resolution. But when it is just it's a easy conversation, and we are talking, and if I just say something in between, it should not look like, oh, you didn't ask for permission. And that happens. So that's why I said the journey is still going on. And I'm not sure, it may take another 30 years, it doesn't matter, because each other grow and discover our own self. It's very beautiful when you are actually looking at it from that lens, that it's me, that's it. I'm understanding my own self in this. If we look at it from that lens, it's a beautiful journey, even when it's conflict resolution, because at the end of it, it's going to be resolved. Be sure of that. Over to you.
So, as I said, this is fairly recent, we were not doing this, utilizing this technique, or I don't even know today whether this is a technique worth utilizing or not, but we are experimenting. For the last few months, I would say, I've been trying this otherwise, not in this relationship, but just in more in professional world. And I must say that this is something that I learned way back. I had this habit of interrupting people. And many years back, there was an intern who was interning with us, and he had come from America, come from the US, and he was doing a project management, in the project management function, he was doing an internship. So one day, he gently, not in a very heated moment or anything like that, very gently called me aside and then mentioned that, he said, Saurabh, I must tell you this, that you have this one problem, that you interrupt people without permission, or you cut people out, and this is a general problem with most Indians that we meet, and with you this is a little more prominent. So he mentioned this to me, and I really took it as a very important feedback, and it's taken me more than, I would say, this happened in around 2006. And it has taken me at least more than 10 years to keep working on this, so that I can cultivate the patience in my own self when others are speaking, to really listen to them and hear them out and not interrupt them. It has taken more than 10 years, I must tell you, and very conscious practice, a lot of what people would call meditation and all that, where I would address this particular issue. Now, having reached that point when I've seen the benefits of doing this on my own self, initially it was a real struggle to do this, to keep patience. But now, when I see the benefits of doing this, I am trying to see whether it works in a relationship as easy as a marriage is supposed to be or not. And we are using our own relationship as a kind of guinea pig in this to see whether it works or not. It's not, as I said, as you could make out, it's not always easy, because it's something that I have learned, and we are trying to see whether it works or not. But we are out with the 15 minutes, all the sand is here, and keeping true to the format, we will keep it at that, and we will keep exploring these kind of things. I don't know how interesting this particular episode was for you, but we hope that a journey like this, we will keep evolving, and as we go along, these episodes will turn out to be very interesting for all of us, and we will invite more and more of you into this. But make sure that you give your comments so that we can really use them to invite all of you into this journey that we have taken together. Namaskar.